So somebody recently asked exercises or workouts, like why I don't post actual things to do in the gym, right? A lot of what I like to talk about is conceptual. They phrased it as, have you ever thought about posting more educational content? Well, that's what this is, right? I think a lot of times people get in this mindset that there are certain exercises, there are certain things that they need to be doing in the gym that are going to make the big difference. What we need to understand when we look at training, when we look at everything that's out there, any knowledge that we're looking at, we have to understand it as a concept. A lot of times when we look at things that people put out there, they put out these informational things that are, you need to do this, you need to do this. But if we're really trying to get the best effects, because training is such an individual process that has got to be adapted to the individual actually doing it, we need to understand how it fits within a conceptual framework, within a conceptual model. We don't need to sit there and look at exercises as you need to do this exercise, you need to do this exercise, because Johnny doesn't need to do what Susan's doing, right? When we look at individual differences and how it applies to training, we need to know that what's going to work for one person isn't going to work for another person, because they're going to need different adaptations. Everything we do in training, everything we do as a concept has to fit within a model of adaptation. We're not trying to sit there and look at, okay, well, we're going to do, everybody's got to do 3 sets of 5. Well, what's 3 sets of 5 for one person is not 3 sets of 5 for another person. There are things that have to be accounted for, things like total load, things like force output, things like training age. All these things go into a different, these need to be considered when we're creating different training protocols and different training plans for individuals. So when somebody asks me, why don't you post more educational content? Well, that's what we're doing, right? That is everything that I try to do, is post the conceptual framework, because we can't sit there and we can't sit there and try to say, this is what's right for you, because I don't know you. I'm not going to tell you what to do unless you hire me to coach you, because that's one of the things that we need to understand, is that the person on one end listening needs to have some kind of framework for them. And now we can look at models and we can look at templates and we can make these all fit into a configuration that's going to work for the majority of people. But when we look at like programming and training and what you need to do in the gym, it doesn't need to be what one person's doing. We need to have a concept. We need to understand how these things fit as a part of a bigger picture, right? We can show you puzzle pieces all day long. You can get puzzle pieces and you can have all these tiny little different points, but you have to understand what the bigger picture is. A lot of times people will throw at you the puzzle pieces, but if they don't give you the box that shows you what the end product is supposed to look like, then we don't really know what we're doing. So if you're looking for educational content, if you're looking for specific exercises, you're not going to find it here. You're not going to find the things that you need to do in the gym or you have to do in the gym, because there isn't anything you have to do in the gym. What you need to do is understand the concept, you need to understand the framework, you need to understand what is the possibility, but to try to understand the bigger picture and try to understand how it fits globally into a system. How do you move? How do you implement how you move? And what is the attention to detail that you put into how you do things in the gym? So if you're looking for specific exercises, sorry, you're not going to find it. If you want to learn how to the concept of training, stay tuned, because we'll try to do that. I'll try to do that the best possible.